Hi guys, Mike with Fights with Friends and Mike Reviews It All. It's been a while. It hasn't been all that long, I guess. I streamed the Charles Felony Bennett fight on Saturday, which he got completely gypped in that fight. But I feel like it's been a while since I've been very active on the channel. So I'm super excited about UFC 225 coming up. Of course, this will be streaming only on Mike Reviews It All for now. Fights with Friends streaming should be back up hopefully shortly. We're looking at probably a few more weeks, but we should be back up over there eventually too. And then we'll have two channels to stream. I'll stream MMA from Fights with Friends and all my bullshit over on Mike Reviews It All. So depending on what channel you're watching this on right now, that's what you'll be getting. But you should be subscribed to both because you're going to get two different kinds of content from both. And we'll talk about different things on both channels. Let's get into UFC 225, though. This is a deep fucking card. Is all I need to say is UFC Fight Pass early prelims, Rashad Evans versus Anthony Smith. That's the Fight Pass prelims. You guys know there's never good fights on the Fight Pass prelims. Then you got Joseph Benavidez, number 125er, against number 525-pounder Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis, I believe, is one guy that we haven't seen get the chance at Demetrius Johnson. So you never know. He's got to fight somebody. Clay Guida versus Charles Oliveira. This is still a UFC Fight Pass prelims. Then you get into FS1 prelims. You got Alistair Overeem and Curtis Blades. That's a crazy fight. Number 2 versus number 4 heavyweights. Claudia Gadelha versus Carlo Esparza. Number 3 and number 5 115-pounders in the females. Ricardo Lamas versus Mirsad Bektic. That's a hell of a match. Rashad Coulter, Chris De La Rocha. These guys, heavyweights. If you don't know who Rashad Coulter is, he's 8-3. Every single one of his wins has come by knockout. So that's probably why he's on the FS1 prelims. Then you got Andrei Arlovsky. Talk about 100% knockouts, though. And against some impressive guys. Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa facing Andrei Arlovsky. This dude is a beast. I say he's 9-0 and with 9 knockouts. 100% knockout ratio for Tai Tuivasa. Of course, Andrei Arlovsky fought everybody, though. He's fought all the competition. Tai Tuivasa still widely untested. We got CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. That kind of speaks for itself. Holly Holm comes back. I love watching Holly fight at 135 or 145. But she's fighting at 145. She's going to welcome Megan Anderson to the UFC. Megan was pretty successful over there in Invicta. She looked pretty good. We'll see how she looks in the UFC. She gets a tough draw for her first match, though. Welterweight interim title fight. Whether you agree with this being an interim title fight or not, or whatever you think about Colby Covington, this is a really intriguing matchup. Number 4, Colby Covington versus number 1, Rafael Dos Anjos. And the winner will face Tyrone Woodley here very soon. And then you got the champ, Robert Whittaker versus number 1 contender, the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero. Robert Whittaker, 20-4, of course, finished 75% of his fights against elite competition. Yoel Romero, same kind of thing, 13-2, finished 85% of his fights, elite competition. Yoel Romero, I didn't even realize this. Yoel Romero's knocked out 85% of his opponents. Whittaker's knocked out half of them, submitted 25% of them, went to decision 25% of the time. This is going to be a crazy fucking fight. I don't see this going the distance, just like the first one that Robert Whittaker won. Didn't go the distance. Unless these guys are too respectful, and I don't know. I don't think Yoel Romero knows how to fight any other way than straightforward. So I think this is going to be a battle. And Robert Whittaker's definitely never been talked about as a guy who backs down. But, yeah, crazy fight. Just this triple header. Holly Holm, Megan Anderson, Rafael Dos Anjos versus Colby Covington, Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero. That's nuts. Andrei Arlovsky and Tai Tuivasa. I take Tuivasa in this one. I think he'll probably knock Arlovsky out. Arlovsky's getting a little older. And let's just break down the main card real quick. I'm picked Tai Tuivasa by knockout over Andrei Arlovsky. I think Arlovsky's chin's just getting softer. He's getting older. I think Tuivasa he's in a groove right now. He's on fire. I mean, Arlovsky definitely could do something, but I see Tuivasa knocking him out. CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. CM Punk's actually been training for quite a while with Rick Rufus. Been training over there with their camp. Mike Jackson has kind of been in and out. As I said in the past, he kind of had a telling answer when I asked him, when people come out and say, what do you say to those people who say you're just fighting CM Punk because it's a name and it's easy money? He said, I'm not a fighter, I'm an entertainer. And that's only stuck with me. I don't know what to think about that. But I'm actually going to take CM Punk in this one. Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson. Just too much experience, too much power here. Holly Holm's knocked out 73% of her opponents, and she's fought, at least for her wins, she's fought some of the top opponents. Yeah, she's had a couple of tough losses recently. A lot of those that she was kind of maybe a little oversized by Chris Cyborg, but she was a big 135er. Now, Megan Anderson is not a big 145er. She's going to come in with a 4-inch reach advantage. That's about all she's got. She's got 50% knockouts, 25% subs. That's a good finish rate, but she's not really a legitimate 145er in my mind. She should be fighting at 135. She's not that big of a girl. I think Holly knocks her out. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Colby Covington. This is a really tough matchup. These guys are really even. Surprisingly, you look at these two guys, and Rafael Dos Anjos only has an 18% knockout ratio. Colby Covington only has a 23%. RDA, 50% of his matches have actually went to decision, 46% for Colby. So these guys have, even though they've been in some exciting fights, maybe we think of them as a little more explosive and a little better at finishing fights than what we think. I'm going to say RDA by decision on this one, though. I just think he's got too much experience still on Colby. I think he's going to have too much to show Colby. And coming off that win over Robbie Lawler, RDA's got a lot of momentum. Colby's got a lot of momentum, too. But I just think RDA is the better fighter in this, and I think he takes it. That brings us down to Robert the Reaper Whittaker and Yoel Soldier of God Romero. The rematch. Robert Whittaker won the first one, of course, right? And then he's been out. He had a horrible staph infection in his stomach. He was in the hospital, super serious. Could have died from it. A super, super serious injury. I'm not sure that he's 100% back from this. Yoel Romero is insanely motivated. It probably would be his last, if not second to last fight if he wins the championship. The way he's been talking, that's kind of what I get from him. Maybe he defends it once if they give him a chance. They're not going to give him a chance to fight in Cuba, but if they give him a chance to fight, somewhere in Florida closer to Havana or something, he might do that and defend his championship against somebody there if he were to win. That being said, in the rematch, I'm going to take Yoel Romero. I thought he was doing very well. I think Robert Whittaker missed a lot of time. We don't know what he's going to look like. Obviously, he could win the fight. I could be wrong. But I I just have a feeling that this is Yoel's time. And Robert's going to have plenty of time in the future. Yoel's right there where he's only got a few more fights left, man, or at least maybe a year or two left to really fight at this level. It's amazing he's still fighting at the level he is right now at 40 years old. But I do think he takes it. I think he takes it by decision. I think they go all 5 rounds, and I think it goes to Yoel Romero. I'm going to say unanimous decision. I think he outstrikes him. I think he stuffs a lot of Whitaker's takedowns, maybe gets a couple of his own. And as long as he doesn't get finished, I think Yoel might actually be the better fighter, even though Robert won the first one. So this will be interesting. And you got odds. You got Whitaker coming in a huge favor, minus 230. To Romero, plus 95. So, like, a 2-1 favorite. I actually got Colby Covington a favorite over RDA. So, I'm taking upsets all over the place. I should bet or keep my mouth shut. Holly Holm, about a 2-1 favorite over Megan Anderson. I'm taking that all day. Tai Tuivasa, actually, minus 250 favorite over Andrei Arlovsky. CM Punk, like I've said in the past, though, Mike Jackson's a minus 200 favorite, 2-1. I would put my money on Punk. Ulster over him, Curtis Blades, minus 170 favorite. You could win a little bit of money if you went on Overeem, but I wouldn't. I think Blades will win that. So that's pretty much your big matchups, but I said I will be streaming on Fights with Friends starting at 3 p.m. Saturday. So, as always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses Saturday.